yeah, I have my like regular breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Nothing's too crazy in my day.
Would you feel comfortable sharing what you eat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
What does
interested.
Brittany eat in a day?
I know. Well, you're going to just get ready, blow your socks off.
Well, because I think some people are going to be like, wait, she eats that many carbs?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to be like, ugh, diet culture myth.
Yeah.
And if you're just listening to the podcast, you should watch on YouTube and check out
out
what
Brittany's
Brittany looks
arms.
like. Yeah. I love your tattoo, by the way. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
So colorful.
So in the morning I eat, so first I intermittent fast. So I usually eat for 8 hours and then fast for 16. So my first meal is usually like around 12:30 or 1, but breakfast or first meal, however you want to call it. So I'll eat eggs and potatoes and then some sort of veggie like broccoli or zucchini or eggplant. And then I put like lettuce and beet kimchi on top. And then usually I'll have a shake in the afternoon, just like a regular protein shake. And then
What's your preferred brand of protein powder?
Well, I like the Optimum Nutrition, just a regular whey protein, just chocolate. Again, it's nice and boring. Sometimes I'll add, do you know that Elements, like those salt packets, the electrolytes? So I've been recently adding a chocolate salt into my chocolate protein shake. And it is so good. It's like the thing I look the most forward to every day. Like a little salty, a little sweet.
Yeah.
A total treat. And then so my second meal, I'll eat usually ground beef and rice and cabbage and then some sort of greens on top. And then my last meal of the day, I'll eat chicken, sweet potatoes, and then some sort of veggie. And then my second favorite part of the day is my bedtime snack. I'll usually have like dried dates and almond butter. So good. So good. Yeah. Never gets old. I'll sometimes like rotate the veggies, but that's pretty much what I eat every day.
So you fit quite a bit in that 8 hours.
Oh yeah.
Like, are you hungry by the time your next meal comes around, or?
It sort of depends on the day. Like if I start eating at 1:30, like if I've, something's come up, then I'm eating from like 1:30 to like 2:15. And then my next meal probably starts at like 3. So it's sort of like I'm constantly eating throughout the afternoon. And then I try to eat my last meal at like 6 or 6:30. And so yes, the 8 hours sometimes just like one meal spreads into the next meal, but I'm always excited to eat.
Yeah. How long have you been doing the fasting for?
I started, I think, almost 2 years ago, and I had never heard about it before. I heard about it at my CrossFit, my L2 certification course, and they just brought it up as like, this is something that some people are doing. Maybe you should research it so you know how to speak to your athletes about it. And so I just decided to give it a try. And I just discovered that I really like it. There's sort of like not a ton of research if it is helpful or not helpful or beneficial or not, but I decided, I don't know, I really like it. I like training without anything in my stomach. So sometimes if I like eat too close, I know you guys have talked about like if you finish your last bite like an hour before you train, you're okay. But I've just discovered that I like training without anything in my system. And so I think I just sort of like naturally really enjoyed that. And then, I'm like, well, if there's health benefits to it too, that'd be amazing. But
so you do all your training in the morning?
Yeah, I usually train at 9 or 10. So that's like basically at the end of my fast. And that works out really well. And then I get to eat right after. Yeah.
I'm not going to say that any of your meals would necessarily be cheat meals, but if you were to say, okay, this is my absolute like go-to cheat meal, what would it be?
Ooh. So last weekend, I'll tell you what I had. Last weekend I made homemade French toast, and it was so epic. But I like how you clarified that, Ian, because I feel like if you put like cheat in it, it has this like negative connotation. And so, even though like in my mind, I'm like, this feels like a cheat meal. And instead I'm just trying to be like, oh, this is just, sort of like a little bit out of my normal, but I don't know. I'm trying to like reframe it in my mind so it doesn't like feel, feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because it was so good.
I was gonna say it's a little bit out of your normal and a little bit into other people's normal.
Oh my gosh. I hope that other people are enjoying it as much as I did. It was so good.
I eat French toast at least once a week.
Oh my gosh. It was so epic. And like when you make it, it's just so much better than at a restaurant. It was like exactly how I wanted it,
And it's hot off the griddle.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get that much carbs. I mean, you'd have to eat a lot of potatoes.
I do. And that's why I love potatoes, because you can really see the volume on your plate.
Yeah.
So whenever I help people with nutrition, if people are doing like a cut, for example, I'll recommend they eat something like potatoes because it looks like a lot on your plate. And then you probably experienced this when you're trying to mass. You might be, oh my God, I can't eat this.
I can't eat enough. And then I'm like, I am chewing so slow because I am about to blow up.
Right. So then some people might be like, okay, I'm going to add, maybe honey into my tea, because that would be like a really easy way to eat a lot of carbs without necessarily like seeing it.
Oh, and then somebody recommended to me, oh, you just get like powder Gatorade.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I wish I would have known.
Yeah. So like Ethan, for example, always has a hard time eating his carbs, which I find so funny. But so he'll have like 50 grams of like powdered Gatorade before he trains. So for him, that's a really easy way to ingest a bunch of carbs without like seeing the volume of it. But I just love it. I'll like pack a big container and it's like stuffed to the brim. And
so how do you prep your potatoes then?
I love just I chop them up and roast them in the oven with salt and rosemary. It's really delicious like that. And then sometimes I Instapot them if I'm, if it's like a little bit easier to do that or like less time consuming.
So do you buy like a 5-pound bag of potatoes every week?
Yep.
And then what's your favorite fat to use with that?
So on the potatoes, I don't put any fat because I like to hoard my fat for my evening snack. Okay. So like having like 2.5 tablespoons of almond butter just like sitting on my plate is so luxurious. So I just like use, if I'm like putting anything in a pan, I just like use like a spray oil. And then I just roast my veggies plain. It's like a little boring, but I would rather I'd hoard my fat for something that I can see. So
how much fat do you try to get a day?
I can tell you actually, if you really want to
My
know.
Fitness Pal.
So I get 285 grams of carbs, 65 grams of fat, and 165 grams of protein. And about almost 2,400 calories.
I'm at 2,700 calories with 340 grams of carbs.
Yes.
And 90 grams of fat. And I'm a little like, oh, I'm going to have to give up my French toast. Yeah. I do my cut.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to hear how you get to shift your nutrition when you are doing your cut. I'm excited.
Yeah. I got a little bit, my coach just had a baby, so she's a little bit like preoccupied. But I asked her like, okay, what can I anticipate? Cause I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, it's only 2 weeks from now. Right?
I know, but I'll do very incremental reductions. And she's like, because we don't know how your body responds and every body responds differently. So it's really tailored. So, we'll do our weekly check-ins and it gets down to like daily check-ins. And at this point, I don't think it's going to ever be, you can no longer eat white potato type thing.
I'm so excited for you.
Fits in your macro. She told me a story about a lady she knows that experimented with different things when she would be prepping for competitions. And one of the times her experiment was to eat a Snickers bar every single day. Like she fit that into her macros to like prove that like you can still eat a Snickers every day.
That's why I love tracking macros. Some people don't like it, but I love it because I feel like you can put the things in that you want to eat, right? Like
Yeah.
ideally we're eating as clean as possible with as much whole food as possible. But if you want to have a Snickers bar, you can fit it in, you know?
Yeah.